if you're going to make a claim, you're not going to get people coming back if it's a whole bunch of BS.
No. And I honestly don't know any industry that is like successful based off of first-time customers. Everyone who has read any sales book or marketing book, keeping a customer is 10 times, 20 times easier, whatever, than getting a new customer. It's some crazy number. If I already went through convincing you as a stranger to like my ad on social media in the insane cluster of the fire hose of every other skincare company that's shooting ads at you, you picked mine, you got it in delivery, which we cover, you opened it and you tried it. We put a lot of money, time, and effort into that. We would be idiots if we didn't make a product that, one, worked, and two, didn't have the understanding of the customer to make sure they actually used it.
Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. If you're looking to get more sales, more customers, master your marketing, and ultimately take control of your retail or e-commerce business, then you're in the right place. I'm Selena Knight, a retail growth strategist and multi-award-winning store owner whose superpower is uncovering exactly what your business requires to move to the next level. I'll provide you with the strategies, the tools, and the insight you need to scale your store. All you need to do is take action. Ready to get started? Hey there, and welcome to the Bringing Business to Retail podcast. Have you ever wondered how some beauty brands can just go viral? They just sell what appears to be millions of units, and meanwhile, you still have stuff on the shelf and you are wondering how you need to move it. Whether that is because you make the product yourself or you sell beauty products in your retail or e-commerce store, today's guest, Jake Rosenberg, is going to give you the down low on how to make sure that your beauty products sell. Hey, Jake, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm well. Now, you started a business called Krete after some very, let's say, trying circumstances.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit of a background on why you even started this business?
Sure. I mean, up until age 27, I was like a bar of soap, wash your face. I didn't know anything about skincare. I'd probably use something concealer, like prom for a pimple, your mom or your girlfriend or whatever gives it to you. Normal American dude. It wasn't a part of the culture to really understand. Maybe if you have dry skin, you go to CVS. But on January 2nd, 2017, I was in a ski accident and my ski came and hit me kind of like a sword, cut my nose open, big scar on my face, had to get stitches, cosmetic stitches, the whole thing. So basically you can't hide a scar on your nose. I had to wear this thing. Hold on, I got to get it ready. There we go. So this basically.
Oh my gosh, it's like a pair of incognito glasses. If you're not watching the video, it's a pair of glasses with like a fake nose on it almost.
Yeah, it's like a little piece of, felt. It's from a mountaineering company. It's called a nose cone, Nozkaon. I found that because the doctor said you have to stay out of the sun for a year because scarring will turn a different color in the sun. It'll get lighter. So if I wanted it to not be super bright, that was what, So it was, when there's something like that where you literally can't hide something, you have to figure out a solution. How do I reduce this? The reduction of the scar itself was with microneedling and hyaluronic acid serums. And then the covering of it at the end of the day was concealer. And so that's why those are our first products, is because those were universal and had incredibly high impact on me. And they also just work really generally well. So yeah, I went to Sephora, that's where the girlfriend told me to go. I said, okay, I need some concealer. Which brand? I don't know. Which tone? I don't know. Do you want sheer coverage or glossy? I don't know. Do you want to beautify contour?
I just want to cover this scar.
How many questions do I need to say I don't know to before you understand? Like, I want to cover a scar. It's not that complicated. Yeah. So just the world of the beauty industry, which we like to call it the handsomeness industry. It's not built for men. It's built for women who know what they're talking about or who want to explore an adventure. When I cook, I go to the grocery store. I like to shop. Ooh, there's a new vegetable. Let me buy it. But like, for other people who don't like to cook, that sounds like a nightmare to them. So I wanted to make skincare and concealer approachable for not just guys, but for anybody who doesn't really want to go to a Sephora, who doesn't want to know a million products or the new trendy thing on TikTok. If you just want the absolute highest quality products, guys specifically, because they don't even know where to start for the most part, you come to Krete, we make it very simple, and everything we build works really well.
Okay, I want to talk about why you picked the male beauty industry in a minute, but can we just take a step back and say, first of all, I am so impressed that you went from going through such a horrific injury to create almost a new product to go into an industry. And so I have to ask you, what was going through your head in that time? And what was the time period between you having your accident and starting the business? Because a lot of people would just wallow in self-pity and hide for a year.
Well, wearing that thing, I'm a social person. I like to go out a lot. And the thing is, I wore that out and people would look. This is before, COVID masks and things like that. Now we're kind of accustomed to people covering their faces. It could be a health thing. It could be a personal privacy thing, whatever. At that time, if you had a part of your face covered, people would look at you like, what are you hiding? It was very off-putting to people. And therefore, I got a lot of not very friendly looks. I even wore it to music festivals and people would give me strange looks. So wow. I knew that I was doing something for the long term, reducing a scar that would be on my face forever. So, concealer, once I really found out that concealer could hide it, it was like a game changer. I was able to go out without getting those looks. It kind of changed everything, to be honest. So I had just a profound, powerful experience with concealer. It's not like it's this life-changing product, but it can be a life-changing product if you have something on your face, acne, dark circles, a scar, and you want to not be asked about it. You want to not be judged by it every single time someone looks at you. It's powerful.
Was there some kind of mental barrier you had to get over to be putting concealer on your face? Because generally, it's something that, in this day and age, I can't say most women because it doesn't work like that anymore. So many people wear makeup, but I'm just thinking from your point of view, you're a young guy, you're good looking, you're a sporty guy, and I'm guessing concealer was not in your list of things you were putting on your face beforehand.
The word of pragmatist, I don't know if it is, but I'm kind of an engineer more than anything. If something works, it works. The only thing that I was worried about, which is what we try to say in our marketing, is the point of it is that nobody knows you're wearing it. So for me, if you get the wrong tone or it's glossy and you're like, I had that on, that's the worst situation, is to be wearing concealer and get caught. As a guy, it's probably changing and it's less and less. Who cares? Was always my attitude.
Yeah.
But that's why I needed to have a matte finish. That's why we need to make it sweat resistant. That's why it's long wear, so it lasts 12 to 24 hours. That's why it dries quickly. That's why we have tone matching software so you get it accurate. I wanted to make sure that those fears that I did have were not there. But I wear concealer almost every day. Nobody's any idea, other than the fact that I sell it. So maybe they have some idea. But if that wasn't specifically my business and our product, no one would have any idea. A lot of people are wearing. We're launching it soon, and so we have hundreds of people testing it. And the reports are this is great. My pimples are gone. My dark circles are gone, and no one has any idea. They just what did you do? So that was probably the big stigma, is kind of getting caught with it, which we do a lot to make sure customers don't worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, for me, no, my personality is, if something this is going to work for me, why on earth? It's I don't know. I have friends who use dog shampoo because there's fewer chemicals in it. It's okay, just because it's marketed
whatever works
doesn't mean it's actually just for dogs. So I don't know. I'm a pragmatist, I think, is it? I don't know.
Yeah. So did you go into this product development thinking this is a business? I'm going to develop this for myself and make a business out of it? Or I'm just going to develop this for myself?
No, it's very hard to develop products. I wasn't doing it just for myself. I made sure that the products were tested on myself and were good enough where if this was someone else's brand, I would pay the prices we're charging for it without hesitation. So if our product costs twice as much money from another brand, I'd buy it without hesitation. So that's kind of where we want it to be, is the product was unquestionably good, and then sell it for an amount that makes it a no-brainer when you actually end up trying it. That's why we have a discounted intro offer, because once you try our product, it's kind of game over. You love it. So yeah, I definitely started. I actually looked into the industry. I thought, okay, there's high margins, smaller products. It's easy to fulfill. There's low regulations. It's repeat customers. If I'm a fashion brand and I sell a shirt to you and you like it, maybe you buy another one, maybe not. But if you buy like our skincare, it's like toothpaste. You buy it every month, forever potentially. So
that's the ultimate.
It's a very good product if you get customers to like it, because we have customers buying. One guy bought 17, 18 bottles last year, and we're like, I don't even know how you use it.
Maybe he was going overseas.
Maybe
I have had people do that where they stock up because they know that they're not, they're going overseas for 2 years. And so they just buy it. This is my 2 years worth.
I don't use it that much. And it's free. It cost me obviously almost relatively free for me. But, and I don't even, I use it every day and I don't use up 17, 18 bottles a year. But we have customers who just buy a ton, and it's like, okay, great. We don't have to convince them. They're convinced. They're going to go get family and friends to do it, and so it's great.
All right, well, let's come back to the discounted intro offer, because I want to talk about the whole customer journey once people buy. But before we get there, you're young, and I know how expensive R&D is, especially in the cosmetic industry. So can you talk about how? Well, you went into this knowing that you were going to open a business, but I'm guessing you had to put a lot of money in to develop these products. So I just wanted to know, what were your thoughts around that? Because you and I are both in agreement that running your own business isn't for everyone. It is freaking hard. It is a mental slog. It costs way more than you ever thought. And the rewards are there, but you have to put in the hard yards first. So what made you think I'm all in on this?
Well, the first thing is just to talk about a point. It's not just that it costs you money. There's also the opportunity cost of your time and money, right? So if you could I'll make up a number, $100,000 a year in a job, but instead you have to put $100,000 into a business and give it a year, it actually costs you $200,000.
Yeah.
So, there's an opportunity cost of your time as well as the investment. And their businesses are risky. I've had multiple successful businesses, and even this one for 2 years of building it originally, it's like, well, we haven't sold a bottle because we're making the branding, we're building the products. There's a lot of things. And then you start selling and okay, we're selling, but our marketing's not efficient. We have to get better, it's not this what is it? The phrase is like, it took 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
There isn't this amazing moment. Yeah, sure. There's a Dollar Shave Club viral video here and there, or somebody does something right, or there's a software company like ChatGPT that gets 1 million people in 5 days. Those things are the exception. Normally what it is you have to have good unit economics, do everything you can to keep your costs down, because it's always easier to spend less than it is to make more, especially at the very beginning. If there's a contract you can write yourself, or find on LegalZoom and negotiate yourself, save $3,000 on a lawyer, that's a lot. So with the product development, formulators are usually $15,000 to $20,000. They take 9 to 18 months to develop it. So with our serum, basically I looked at the chemistry of it. I realized it was one phase. There's no heating. There's no multiple phases. There's no oil and water or polar and non-polar mixture, which requires surfactants. It becomes, there's no, not to get too much into it, it's not really incredibly complex chemistry. It's get a couple of the good ingredients and mix them. There's a specific method I developed, mixing a lot of different things in different orders and whatever. But I could train a middle schooler to make our formula now. So I did that because it cost me about $2,500 to get the ingredients. Formulator, Sample Shop, Making Cosmetics, and Lotion Crafter. There are 3 companies. You can buy small things of whatever ingredient you want and buy some, boracite, something, glass beakers from Amazon, and
off you go.
Off you go. And I did that for about 2-3 months, made about 200 formulas and came up with our first 2 products.
So when you said you went, I love the fact that you went into this knowing this was a business, because I think a lot of people get caught out when they develop a product generally for themselves and they never think, oh, how do I scale this? Because people start wanting it and then they're making it in their, in their garage or in a commercial kitchen. But tell me what that journey was like. Like, did you go straight to a co-packer, or like once you
No,
had the formula, how did you scale the
we made
business?
the first many ourselves. I mean, this is a pneumatic filling machine. I bought it for $250 on Amazon. $180 got the air compressor. It's loud. I don't know if my neighbors had any idea what was going on, but he jacked that thing up to 120 psi. Plug it in. I had to go to a couple of hardware stores to make sure that the Chinese measurements, which is metric, fit with the American thing, which is like quarter inch is 7 million, whatever it was. But a couple Googling, whatever. And then this machine, you put serum in the top, hit a piston, it fills. So there was a lot of that kind of stuff for the first whatever. That costs, let's say, $600 to put together. I got a labeling machine, $600. Okay, well, all of a sudden, by myself, I could make 500 to 1,000 bottles a day. That pays off after a day of wasted labor. So, there were a lot of things that, you can just kind of be very innovative in your approach to product development. Some things you just want to go to a co-packer or a contract manufacturer. The issue is they have MOQs, minimum order quantities, and like maybe it's 2,500 per unit, and you're going to pay a lot per unit at that. If you're ordering 50,000 units, it goes down. For instance, one person we talked to, let's say it was $5 a unit at 5,000. Even at 20,000, it's like $2 a unit. It's like almost the same amount of money, but you get way more. So it's hard because a lot of this industry is built for established companies making new products. It's not built for startups. And it's really stuck in the past with innovation. They think like some new click pen that clicks a slightly different way is innovation. It's like there's very few new, really original products. There's very few brands that have interesting new messaging, packaging, or just the whole thing combined. So that's kind of where Krete comes in. Is when I looked at it, I thought, okay, well, let's just be 30 to 50% better at a minimum on every level, and then we'll be 10x better because there's 20 levels. Let's have better messaging, better product, better fast wins, as we'll talk about, better packaging. And then one serious consideration was, building this company during lockdowns and supply chain shortages. How can you be resilient to that? Well, one, fewer ingredients, only use the ingredients that matter. That wasn't a consideration about supply chains. That was just, okay, you need these 2 preservatives, you need these 2 slick stabilizing things, and these 3 amazing ingredients. Okay, that's it. That's the formula. Why have that shampoo bottle of like 90? Like, what is that? Yeah. I know what those ingredients are. Most of them are fillers, they're crap. They're to tweak this, or there's sets of chemicals that these companies buy that are already pre-done because they're lazy and they don't want to just actually make a better version themselves. So our packaging is off the shelf. It's easy. I could get these boxes from 100 different places. I get these pens from 100 different places. It's pretty resilient. You want to make sure that you decrease dependencies, because let's say the box place that we go to is out of paper, or there's some issue, or their factory burned down, whatever. You're out of business, and you can't have yourself rely on things. It's just called a single point of failure in engineering. So you want to avoid those. I know I just covered like a million topics.
That's okay.
I hope that was in the ballpark of your question.
Let's jump in. Let's talk about customer journey, because it's something that you and I absolutely adore. And we think that if you can just tweak, like you said, that customer journey 1% better than your competition on all the levels, all of a sudden you are 10x better. So you mentioned quick wins. Tell us a little bit about how you give your customers a quick win, and how do you portray that in your messaging?
Sure. So I'll talk about the concept first. And the easiest kind of metaphor I have is like fashion. I love this sweatshirt. I put it on at the store. I was like, okay, I like it. That was a quick win. I feel like I looked good immediately in it. If I put it on and it was too baggy, I'd be like, okay, it's bad. Get a haircut. You look at it. It's like, basically it's anything where you feel good about something or see the benefits immediately. And I mean, like the first time you use it. It doesn't need to be the first second you use it. It's just the first time. You get that new jacket, you get that new hat, whatever it is. You're going to look good. There's a fast win. With skincare, with exercise, with health, with things like that, it's really hard to do that because, everyone goes to the gym on January 1st, then January 2nd, the New Year's resolution thing. Well, most people quit because they don't see results. It takes a while for that. It takes a while for a diet to help you be healthier, lose weight, sleep better. Most of these things are not instantaneous. So how do you do that with those experiences, I don't know. I know how you do it in skincare. You give the person a like tactile or a specific feeling like it's working. So our hyaluronic acid serum, when it dries, it's what's called a film former. It like feels tight on your skin. You can feel it tightening and it feels like a protective coat and it feels smoother the first time you use it. So customers know, okay, I actually feel it on my skin.
I can feel it working.
I'm going to feel it working.
Yeah.
I'll use it 30 days in a row when they get the secondary and tertiary benefits of it. Other products that we're doing are eye stick. Cooling helps a little bit, but also cooling is partially so you feel that the product is on you for a cooling eye stick. Things like that. Concealer is easy. I put it on my nose, the thing disappears.
Thing goes away. Yeah.
That's an easier one. But so that's a huge part of it. And that's kind of stage 2 marketing. Stage 1 is the ad or the whatever that got it in your hands. Then from there, the product has to market itself. It has to deliver results and it has to make you, if it's going to deliver really good results in a month, it has to get you to actually use it every day for the month. And so the fast wins part is that bridge of once it's in my hand, how's it going to actually get me to feel like it's doing something? Because nobody's going to go off faith for any product. If I wash my face with a cleanser and it doesn't feel clean, I'm not going to continue to wash it no matter what the ad said that I saw 2 weeks ago. So that's that concept. Yeah.
It's funny. I saw a Facebook post just before we got on, and it was someone saying that they were in the jewelry industry and they're seeing all these sort of fast moving jewelry brands saying that their jewelry doesn't tarnish. And she's like, I'm a jeweler. I know all jewelry tarnishes. Like, even if you put this protective varnish on it, the varnish just comes off after a period of time. And I'm really strongly opposed to the fact that people are being misled. And then there were dozens of comments of people saying, oh, yes, I bought some earrings that said they were tarnish free, and 3 days later my ears turned black, or same thing with the bracelet. And so that is kind of the same situation that you're saying, but in the reverse is, if you're going to make a claim, you're not going to get people coming back if it's a whole bunch of BS.
No. And I honestly don't know any industry that is like successful based off of first-time customers. Everyone who has read any sales book or marketing book, keeping a customer is 10 times, 20 times easier, whatever, than getting a new customer. It's some crazy number. If I already went through convincing you as a stranger to like my ad on social media in the insane cluster of the fire hose of every other skincare company that's shooting ads at you, you picked mine, you got it in delivery, which we cover, you opened it and you tried it. We put a lot of money, time, and effort into that. We would be idiots if we didn't make a product that, one, worked, and two, didn't have the understanding of the customer to make sure they actually used it. I mean, we send text messages that, like, once it's delivered, like later that day or the next day, it's like, hey, your stuff was delivered. Did you try it yet? It's great, right? Like, we send text marketing to make sure you use it when you get it. So that excitement is there. We want to make sure you use our product because we know it's good. I don't know how people sell half the products I order on Amazon you get, and you're like, Amazon Prime just lets me return this. Of course I'm going to return this. How does this place make money?
I'm with you on that. And I have to say that's probably one of the reasons I shop on Amazon, is that ability to be able to return the crap. Like, convenience is one. I mean, I will always shop independent when I can. But if I know that I'm here all day and the Amazon dude will come at 2:00 and I can't leave the house, where am I going to shop?
Yeah, especially for weird things like, oh yeah, I just need like a crappy kind of light for $40 in the corner of my room. Like, okay, Amazon. I needed. And it's really crappy. Okay, see, I'm returning it.
I needed little lav mic, fluffy things, whatever they're called, and the nearest shop was 40 minutes away, and they were like $3 more on it, expensive on Amazon with Prime delivery. I'm like, they're here at 2:00.
Well, the way I have to think about it too is like, I work a lot, and so if it was going to cost me 40 minutes there, in the store 20 minutes, 40 minutes back, in an hour and 40 minutes, can I do more than $3 worth of work? Or even if I didn't do something, even if I slept or used the gym or just watched TV, that's worth more than
$3 to you. Yeah.
It's just, you have to start thinking about that, especially as an entrepreneur, where like your time is basically at the beginning. How much time you put in and effort is exactly what your business. Now my time has to be managing more people, finding like, okay, we want to go to Amazon. Who's going to run that? Now my time is the recruiting of that person and the management of that person. I still have to put a lot of time in. It's 24/7, but it's not me like making the products and personally writing our emails anymore.
Okay. So tell me then about, we sort of touched briefly on you doing a discount offer to get people in. So I would love to know, how do you, like I said right at the beginning, some brands sell millions of units and other brands just don't. And sometimes those brands are just sitting on your shelf as a retailer and you're like, why is nobody buying this stuff? Versus also product manufacturers who are maybe doing a couple of thousand units rather than a couple of 100,000 units. So what's your take on getting those customers in the door to even try, assuming that the product is good? I guess what's your advice to get people in the door? And why do you think some brands just don't sell like they should?
I think it's very hard to become a brand that someone not only wants, but then the level above, which is needs. Sometimes people just nail messaging and you just go, yeah, I need that. Or I really want that, or I need that product. Hims did a great job because they took something people needed, which is Propecia, Viagra, other prescription medication. All they did was make it funny and easy to order online. It's not rocket science. No one had ever done that. No one had ever been able to privately call a doctor and kind of laugh about it and have a cactus that was wrecked or a tree losing leaves as a metaphor for baldness. So they were one of the first companies that was just like, I saw when I was kind of modeling our thing, I was like, wow, they take really taboo and difficult subjects, medical subjects for people, and they completely break down the walls. And so that relief of that product that people needed, or the multiple products, that just made them explode and became, public company, multi-billion dollars, right?
And they took away the shame and the stigma, like you're saying.
Exactly. So you don't have to do that much. It's just you have to do a couple of things different and you have to do them correctly. One of the stigmas for customers of Krete was that, I don't want to be stuck in the bathroom for 30 minutes. I don't want to go to Sephora and get a 4-hour lecture on a million skincare or cosmetics or beauty products. So what we do is our tagline, 30-second skincare. Our brand promises 30 seconds or less, you'll learn everything you need to know. You'll learn what products you need. And in 30 seconds or less, you'll be able to use any of those products. That resonates with guys. So, there's kind of the value. $100 million Offers is a great book.
Look, I have one of his. I have one of his sheets, literally.
he's fantastic. Yeah. So
I fangirl on Alex Hormozi. I actually met him last year.
That's funny. I followed him on Instagram and then he followed me back and I can't message him. I don't know. It was like 6 months ago and I didn't know who he was. I just saw a TikTok reel or two and made some comments and he liked my comments or something.
Yes. Sidebar here.
Oh, this is that guy?
This is that
guy.
So
one of the things he said, and by the way, that concept of fast wins, I always had it in my head, but he said something similar to that in that book. And that's what clarified the phrase fast wins for me.
Yeah.
So now I say that to my team and every time on our website, and it's like, you come to our website, how can we make you feel like you're winning immediately? So, you talked about the intro offer. One of the biggest things we did was an intro offer. We can only do that where we give, $39 bottle of something for $6, which is 84% off with free shipping. Well, we can only do that because we are so confident that once you get it, it's going to work. So we have a product that people really, really want to need. People with skin issues, they've tried a million other things. It's a confidence thing. It's a health thing. It's a mental health thing of just feeling good, feeling better. We have people who've had skin issues, eczema, things like that for 20 years who use Krete. And a week later, they're messaging me like, I wish I'd found this earlier. It's like, well, we weren't out 20 years ago, but you could have found us last year maybe. But so that's the first thing. We take a hit. We on the first bottle, we lose money. There's an acquisition cost. There's a the shipping alone, even in New York, as cheap as $4, $5 is or whatever. Well, we're only charging you $6 and giving you free shipping. So we're taking a risk. We experimented with that, but the retention was so good that month 2, we're almost breaking even. Month 3, we're profitable. It's like, okay, well, we have these customers for 12 to 36 months. So if in month 3, we're profitable with them, it's like, well, that's a great situation. All I need to do is make sure we have enough funding to get the people on in the first place. So that's why we did an intro offer. Our intro offer is ridiculous. It's almost a free bottle. It
is. And I'm surprised that given that you are so passionate about a brand, I'm surprised you did that rather than some kind of value bundle or...
We're looking into a number of things. Actually, in the next couple months, we're looking into basically like a 50% off intro offer that's combined with the body serum instead. Because at this point, $6, while that's very inexpensive, 50% off for $19 is also very inexpensive. It's a huge thing. And so we get $13 more. We might be devaluing the brand less by not offering it. We've had no problems with our pricing. It's very interesting. We've had no one complain that it sounds cheap. We've had no one complain that it's too much. So pricing is a very difficult thing. Discounts are a very difficult thing. We would always rather try to give people bonuses rather than discounts. That's another Alex Hormozi concept.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like that's always my thing. We're a startup. We experiment with a lot of different things. We have probably 4 or 5 major different types of intro offers we're going to test soon. One of which will be regular price bottle, but a free body serum maybe or something.
Yeah. And I guess, it like you said, it's all good and well to try these things, but you have to test them and then you have to follow through. What is the customer lifetime value? What did it cost to acquire the $6 customer versus the $39 customer with the free gift? And then how long do those people stay? So you don't get an immediate answer when you test these things out.
Well, I'll even say this. Let's say someone came on for $6 and our next bottle is 30. We're making it 29 instead. So they get $10 off the next bottle. $6, a lot of people drop off to the 29. Not a huge amount. It's like less than 50%. Most of them get completely retained. But so now let's say we made that 50% off, which is about $19.50. Well, maybe our acquisition cost goes up by $10 a person, but we get 13 more in the first order. Okay, so maybe it's more profitable. But also a $19 customer has a much higher chance of becoming the $29 customer because that gap is less. So now maybe we're getting $3 more up front, which adds up with all these small things. $3 is almost, it's probably like 8-9% margin. So thank you for that back. Like that could change a business. Every dollar matters. And then the other part again is the retention. If 20% more of people are staying on, all of a sudden month 2, now we're making $6 more. In month 3, we're making $8 more.
And the person who spends $20 up front is more likely to add more things to their basket than the $6 person, because the $6 person is potentially a bargain hunter and is, I'll just give it a try. And, I don't really care. I don't really want it, but I'll give it a try. It's $6. So in my experience, what I've found is it generally is more costly to acquire better customers, the ones who stay and spend more. But I think people get so hung up on what's my cost per conversion, and that's not the right question.
It's not the only question. You have to say like what kind of customer is being converted. Like we could give away free shipping. Congratulations. I'm sure our acquisition costs would get cut in half, but we'd also be getting zero money. So it really depends. And, unit economics is very important because let's say you have something for $4 and you're selling it for 20. That's great. That's a really good margin. However, the largest thing is going to be your acquisition cost. It's going to be your marketing acquisition cost. Like almost no business I've ever talked to, it's not acquiring customers. So usually, places will lose money on the person's first order. So for us, we try to break even or as close to it because we know that the retention is where we get money. And considering you have a monthly subscription, it's not, we hope you come back. It's like, well, we know you're going to be back in 30 days. It's predictable a little bit more than if we just had, a la carte orders and hope you come back in 2 months or whatever.
So can we just briefly touch on that? Is apart from subscriptions, which I think if you are not offering subscriptions for your customers, even if you are just reselling other people's products, you are missing a lot of money. But what are some of the ways that you increase your order per basket or items per basket?
Well, there's just upsells in general and cross sells are just, it's a relatively simple concept. If you like our facial serum, we don't like to pester you when you're making your first purchase. We want to acquire you as a customer and get one of our products in your hands because then you'll see the quality. Then we can say, hey, we have these other things, by the way. But that's our style and that's worked well for us. sometimes you can pester customers out of a sale. It's very easy to do. So if you're going to buy, if you only bought this one right here, the hydrating facial serum, we were a profitable company for over a year on just having one product. So we know we don't have to sell you the others to do well. Obviously, the goal is to. But yeah, what we do is, you probably have a bundle. We have a head to toe bundle, which is all our products together. It covers you from head to toe. There's a discount on them. Let's say it's $150 combined. We might discount it like 30, 35%, like a big thing, because they're all going in the same thing. So we save on fulfillment, we save on shipping. It's the margins of all of them add up. We're making a ton of money if you bundle them, even with a giant discount. So you always want to have bundled discounts. But there's little things you can do on a website. If someone has decided to add something to the cart, in the cart, offer them the second product for free. Or not for free, for like 50% off. Offer them to go from a 1 bottle to a 3-pack and get 30% off. We actually, we have upsells. One of them that's very funny is if someone has a 3-pack, we offer them a 6-pack for like $20 more. Like 90% of people take it.
Who wouldn't take that?
It's like $30 more. Basically, you just kind of like, you feel like you're stealing from us, and we make another $20 in profit, not whatever from you. And then we also just got a customer who has 6 bottles of serum. Well, they're going to give it out to friends.
They're going to give it to a friend.
It's going to become worst case scenario. That guy just uses it, and now he is addicted to our product in a good way. And like, he just has a ton. 6 months later, when he comes back, Krete is his go-to for everything. So, you have to have a long-term view of these kinds of things. We just want products in customers' hands so that you can experience it. But again, we're very confident about our products.
I love that you know these numbers so intricately. And I think you brought up something there that most people don't really think about, which is the cost of adding something to the shipping. And I don't know how it is in the US, but here in Australia, our shipping has just got ridiculously expensive. But if you know, like if you are taking the time, or if your e-commerce manager is taking the time to go, we have let's say, for example, lightweight product that is high margin. So we're going to offer that, because the chances of it putting somebody into the next bracket for postage is quite small. So like you said, we're saving on the postage. So we can afford to give somebody some sort of value add, or give them a discount. I mean, I'm not a huge discounter, but give them something that increases our average order value and potentially gets them to try a new product. So I don't think most people think about the logistics part of it.
Yeah,
that's a great insight.
You have to think about it, because like fulfillment is, I'll give round numbers, right? Fulfillment is $2, but then there's a picking and packing fee. It's 50 cents. But then there's the additional weight, which is postage. Then there's an additional box, and there's an additional this. There's just the logistics of it. So, you probably save $4 to $5 if you can get people to buy both in one versus one and then the other. So just offer them that as the discount. And then, you were allowed to discount them because you're making the same amount of money. But what you're doing is you're getting them to actually buy both instead of one, and then having to convince them to buy it again. So things like that make a lot of sense. For instance, another example is I don't have them lying around. I think I gave them all to the fulfillment center because we were like selling out of them, and I had like 100 here. We have these custom mailer boxes. They're like $1.50. They're really nice, and then we have inserts that go in them, and the bottles or the boxes go perfectly. It's like a beautiful thing. It costs like $4. That's insanely expensive for
That's a lot for
stuff.
Shipping.
We only do that with the 3-packs because the 3-packs are $99. It's like, okay, I'll spend $4 to make it like really wow. I'll spend 4% of the margin of that. If I was doing that with a $40 product, it's 10% more. We were looking into that. It just didn't make sense. These became a lot more economical when we put them in a sleeve and in a bubble mailer and sent that off. That cost 50 cents instead of $4.50. So, there's even room within how you fulfill it. And so if someone's going to order a 3-pack, we want it to kind of the unboxing experience to be nicer. For promotional things to influencers, we send them a 3-pack. They open it. It has funny. You open it, little hidden messages like "made you look good." I don't know, whatever, little jokes you write. So that's all really expensive, but we can do that for high ticket items. We don't do that at all for like single bottles because you're just going to throw that anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think this has all been extremely insightful. Thank you so much. I guess my next question to you would be, if you were to go into somebody's business, like you were Marcus Lemonis from The Prophet, and they were struggling, what would be the first thing that you would look at?
I mean, first it would depend on the business itself, right? So we're talking about someone else's skincare business, just to kind of keep it simple.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll keep it even higher level than that. It depends on the business, right? If it is an e-commerce friendly business, if it has to be retail, there's a lot of individual kind of high level considerations. Is it easy to be fulfilled? For instance, if you're selling like cheaper t-shirts and you're mailing them and providing free shipping, that's terrible. Like, t-shirts are big, they're heavier, things like that. You're probably getting crushed on shipping. So it really depends on the specific industry and the specific price level and audience within that industry. Usually there's some just glaring mismatches. Like someone is trying to sell to an audience that they just shouldn't be selling to, or they're trying to sell to an audience with messaging that doesn't make any sense. I will say the biggest messaging mistake is people talk about features instead of benefits.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this car has 9 cup holders instead of this car will give you the freedom to live your life the way you want, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Krete skincare will make you look younger and you'll have a better life and you'll be more confident. That's good. Krete has hyaluronic acid.
So does everything else.
Everything else. I mean, ours is a higher molecular weight but you have to talk about the aspirational outcomes. So I actually do help a lot of companies, both as a mentor and advisor or consultant. I've done, 100 of them throughout my life. And usually what you can come in and do in like an hour is just ask a bunch of questions. You find that people don't know, they didn't even like ask themselves those kinds of questions. Like, hey, why is this your tagline? Why are you going after this audience? Why are you selling only on Shopify instead of just Amazon? Why are you spending so much time trying to do organic TikTok to go viral, when if you spent the same amount of time just like in the same
sending
amount
out
of
emails,
sending out emails, or just that's the thing about being an entrepreneur, is you literally can do anything you want. I can just say, hey, we're going to run ads on Snapchat tomorrow. We could do that. It doesn't mean it's smart. We can make any product we can sell to anyone we want on any platform. Well, that's both a miracle and it's also a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, right? Because my job is entirely what should we be doing and how do we do it? And then how do we test that thing to make sure that was actually a good decision to do it? So, we're just launching our Amazon store. Should be up in a couple of weeks. That one's pretty obvious. But guess what? If it's 6 months from now, we're not getting sales on Amazon, we're not going to keep putting ads into it. We'll keep the store, of course, but we just won't keep hiring ad spend and people to do it, and won't keep putting products up there. You just got to see what works and kind of make good decisions. So, helping a different brand, let's see what decisions they're making. And the first thing is just asking them, can they justify everything they're doing? And I mean literally everything. I don't mean some things, why do you have that product? Why is that your packaging? Well, you're getting it custom because it looks nicer. Well, custom also means
dollars,
time, and okay,
margin,
great. You spend out. How fast can you get back into stock? If the best thing in the world happened and you sold out today because someone, who I don't know, the most famous Justin Bieber said your thing was the greatest, whatever, and your stuff sold out today, how fast could you get back in stock? Me, 2 weeks, maybe less. Most companies, 3 to 6 months. Okay.
No one thinks about best case scenario. We just think about worst case scenario.
That's something that I usually come in and people are like, oh my God, I didn't even think what would happen. If everything went the best it could possibly go, we'd be screwed. It's see, you're not really, you're thinking if things go exactly as they currently are, which we'll never do. It'll go worse or better.
Yeah. All righty. I think that is a great place to wrap up this conversation. If people, are listening and they are looking to buy your products, where can they find them?
You can find them on Krete.club. That's KRETE.CLUB. We're always offering some crazy intro offers. Buy it. Even if you cancel 2 days later, you're going to be back. We're our stuff is great.
Cool. And if they want to reach out to you personally, where can they find you?
Jake@Krete.club. And I'm pretty religious about answering my emails, so I'll get to them.
All right. Thank you so much. I think we've touched on so many things. Messaging, we've talked about logistics, we've talked about customer acquisition and retention. And I think my favorite part was the fact that you went into this whole foray knowing that this was a business. And so you put kind of the business hat on right from the beginning. And like you said, you kind of made a bit of a contract with yourself. And now look at it. It's absolutely exploding. So congratulations.
I appreciate that. It was a couple years of like, oh man, this better work. But now it's working. But if you sweat every single level and you ask yourself, does this decision make sense and why? You're just going to have mostly generally correct decisions. And that will get you to the place as long as you constantly improve.
Love it. Love it. Thanks so much. And remember, that is Krete.club if you want to check out the products. Cheers. So that's a wrap. I'd love to hear what insight you've gotten from this episode and how you're going to put it into action. If you're a social kind of person, follow me at @TheSelena and make sure to leave a comment and let me know. And if this episode made you think a little bit differently, or gave you some inspiration, or perhaps gave you the kick that you needed to take action, then please take a couple of minutes to leave me a review on your platform of choice. Because the more reviews the show gets, the more independent retail and e-commerce stores just like yours that we can help to scale. And when that happens, it's a win for you, a win for your community, and a win for your customers. I'll see you on the next episode.